Hello, everyone. My name is Fariborz Azhakh. I have a martial arts school in Woodland Hills, California called Team Karate Centers. I'm very honored and proud to be a part of this expert series, even though in my opinion I'm no expert in anything. But I was asked to share with you guys the way I do few particular techniques, and the first one we're going to do today is jab. Is how do we do a jab? So the distinction that I want to make is that I'm not really very style based, even though my traditional system, where I came up with was Hapkido, but I've been exposed to different arts. And so we call it Hapkido blend, and blend means multicultural martial arts based on usefulness. So you're going to see a little bit of everything. I want to make sure I don't take credit for creating any of this. This was all shown to me, and I was fortunate enough to be at the right place at the right time to take the best from the people, that I had the pleasure of taking a lesson with. Anyway, so I look at jab as an entry point, which means, and it's the closest weapon to the opponent. So I start by keeping my hands up from here, knowing that the front hand already is pointing towards the opponent. So I don't start like this because this is more of a defensive and more boxing. This is not my point of reference of all this stuff right now. Is self-defense. Not so much kickboxing, but I'll go over what would happen if I had gloves on, if I didn't have gloves on, all right? So my first thing is, the biggest thing is, the person who controls the distance wins the fight, in my opinion. So it's incredibly important. My first thing is I would never do a jab from this distance, because if I can hit him, guess what? He can hit me. So I want to be at a point where my full extension of my arm is about that much away from him, and so is his arm, which means in order for him to hit me, he has to step first. And that's where I go to work, right? So I want to make that distinction very clearly. So what that means is that everything we're going to do today with the jab has a step through. I'm gonna step with my front foot, then when I'm done, I'm gonna step back. So I want to make sure you keep that in mind. Okay, so right now, if I had gloves in my hand, I'm going to tell you a couple no-nos. As a teacher, I'm a strong believer in no-nos, which means don't do this. So let's go over what to do first. Elbows are in, straight, forward. If I had gloves on, my hand is already facing forward. Imagine I'm already stepped from here. I'm already stepped in. My hand goes forward, touches the chin. At the point of impact, it's going to turn with the two knuckles down. Okay? And I'm going to retract back. A couple no-nos. If the elbow goes out, it points my hand to go out this way. Now we're not working on economy of motion or the concept of a straight line, right? So we don't want the elbow to go out when we're doing it. So after stepping in, again, I want to make sure, and the best way to do it, imagine there's a wall right here, and I'm leaning against the wall, and I'm punching. If my elbow goes out, hits the wall, my hand will be going out. So from here like this, I'm going to step in straight, touch and turn at the last second. My arm is not locked. That's a big no-no. You don't want to end up locking that arm out. Okay, my supporting hand, my other hand is up at the same time. I don't cock it. So when you do a jab, you don't bring it back here, then you hit it, right? The person can see it coming. Again, if I didn't have gloves on, so here, let's talk about this first. So anything from shoulder here down, hitting with two knuckles is wonderful. But the reality is, if you fight someone who's bigger than you or taller than you, then you would have to go higher. And what that does, it causes the wrist to bend. So I'm all against a vertical punch. We borrowed that from Wing Chun. Okay, so the vertical punch has a little bit more, especially if I'm punching straight up or somebody higher. Okay, so from here like this, if my hand is here, so I'm going straight forward, hitting straight with these two knuckles. Notice it doesn't have that chiseling effect to turning, but I don't need it. If I'm doing it for sport, if I don't want to hurt the guy, I would obviously hit him in the chin, in the nose, anywhere in the face. But if I want to do more damage, I would strike to the throat. So that determines what's my ultimate, my goal, right? What do I want to do? Do I want to drop this guy, fight's over, possibly take his life? Or this is just to teach him a lesson. So again, but the motion is the same, right? So from here like this, Don't cock it. We go straight forward from here and come back. So a jab will be that motion or straight forward, turning it at the last second. You might not be able to see my foot, but again, I want to emphasize that I'm stepping into everything. When I'm doing a jab, I'm stepping into it. I could be straight forward, right to the throat, or I could be going to the face. So a jab will be that motion or straight forward, turning it at the last second. You might not be able to see my foot, but again, I want to emphasize that I'm stepping into everything. When I'm doing a jab, I'm stepping into it. I could be straight forward, right to the throat, or I could be going to the face. So again, jab is the closest weapon towards the other hand. And as far as the other person is concerned, it's my gait about getting to his face. So if he's got a jab out too, I have to somehow, with borrowing again from trapping, we can actually get rid of that gait to get to their face, okay? But again, let's go back to, again, jab, control the distance, super important. You step in, the last second, turn it. If you have gloves, that works wonderful. Okay, if you don't have gloves, I personally would like punching straight this way. Now, the concept of the jab doesn't have to be a fist, right? So I could do finger jab. Okay, that's the same idea. I could go palm strike. I could go throat strike. I consider jab anything that has to do with your front hand, which is the closest thing to the opponent. Okay, that's what we want to work on. Again, controlling distance from here. Quick review. Gloves, coming in, turning at the last second. Okay, or I could go vertical. Okay, when I do it. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to admire your work. What do I mean by that? Is you don't want to jab and just kind of wait out there to see what happens, right? So jab is a snapping motion, so we want to come right back when we jab. And notice every time I do it, my other hand is by my chin. My chin is down, my hand is up, and I'm going right back into it. From here, if I go straight forward or a finger jab, okay, same concept. I'm going right back into it. From here, if I go straight forward or a finger jab, okay, same concept. Again, jab is your front hand. It's not designed to knock the guy out. It's almost designed to piss him off or to create entries for my other weapons to step in. So that's your basic jab.